The silliest stuff when I see people say, this was karma for all the racist things he said. No, he was 71. Y'all do know the average lifespan for a man on this planet is 74, right? If you get past 74, you are really, really on borrowed time, and you should thank God every chance you get. Okay. I saw some stupid comments this week between Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne. Somebody in our group chat was like, oh my God, there's something in the air. Like, what? Hulk Hogan was 71. That's about right, y'all.
It's been a whirlwind of emotions as people across the nation react to a string of shocking losses from the iconic era of 1980s Hollywood. For so many, it feels like the end of an era, like pieces of their childhood just disappeared overnight. Fans are mourning hard after learning about the deaths of Malcolm-Jamal Warner and rock legend Ozzy Osbourne, but it didn't stop there. Just days ago, wrestling superstar and TV personality Hulk Hogan was also reported dead at 71, with cardiac arrest listed as the cause. The news broke like a thunderclap, but here's where things took a turn. While many poured out love for Warner and Osbourne, Hogan's death stirred up way more controversy. Instead of just grief, it sparked debates, arguments, and some straight-up backlash.
And it's really sad when anyone passes away. But I really don't feel anything because I know for a fact that he didn't like us. He never hid the fact that he didn't like us. You know, but it's very sad when someone passes away, whether they were young or whether they were old, whether they were famous or whether they was just a regular person. You know, I really don't even know what to say, man. But I had to say something. So I don't think we're gonna see people on here crying over him passing away.
Why? Because people didn't forget. Hogan's past, especially those racist remarks that surfaced years ago, came crashing back into the spotlight like a steel chair to the face. And you already know the internet doesn't let things slide. Social media exploded with people reminding everyone exactly what Hogan said back then. The vibe wasn't all RIPs and tributes. It was more like, let's not act like he was a saint. And poor Mike Epps caught the smoke. The comedian probably thought he was being respectful when he posted a tribute image of Hogan, Osbourne, and Warner, all three surrounded by clouds, giving the idea that they're peacefully chilling in heaven now. The caption on Epps' Instagram, "Bless them in the spirit." Sounds innocent, right? Not to the internet. Folks jumped in that comment section with no hesitation. One user clapped back with, "Delete this. We only mourning Malcolm." Another echoed that same energy saying, this ain't it, fam. It got real messy, real fast. People were basically saying, don't lump Hogan in with Malcolm and Ozzy like he was just some beloved figure. One of these men ain't like the others, someone commented, and that pretty much summed it up. The backlash was instant. Fans of Malcolm-Jamal Warner were especially vocal, saying it was disrespectful to put his image next to someone who had been exposed for saying such hurtful things. Meanwhile, others felt Epps was just trying to show love during a sad moment. But even that take didn't get much support. This wasn't your typical mourning moment. This was public memory clashing with public image. And when that happens online, things get wild, fast. Another user didn't hold back at all, flat out writing, the F is you doing, Mike? Oof! That pretty much captured how a lot of people felt. The overall reaction? Mike Epps clearly did not read the room, not even a little. People were confused, irritated, and downright disappointed. The timing was off and the image just didn't sit right with folks, especially while the internet was already deep in conversation about Hogan's problematic past. Instead of sparking a moment of reflection or unity, Epps' post came across to many as tone deaf. People were left asking, why would you post this now? Out of all the tributes you could have done. Some were even wondering if Mike really knew what Hogan had said in the past or if he just didn't care. Either way, the backlash was loud. And when the story of Hogan's death hit the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God didn't waste a second jumping into the mess. On air, he joked about people online saying Hogan's passing wasn't just bad luck, it was karma catching up to him. Yeah, Charlemagne leaned all the way into the controversy, knowing full well how divided folks were over Hogan's legacy. Let's not forget, this backlash isn't coming out of nowhere. Hogan's history is well documented. When word first broke about his death, the internet instantly brought up those infamous moments where he was caught using the N-word. Not once, but multiple times. The most explosive moment, when he was secretly recorded talking about his daughter dating a black man, and it was disgusting. People never forgot that clip. And now they sure weren't about to pretend it didn't happen just because he passed. One user on X, formerly Twitter, even asked their AI chatbot Grunk to dig up the exact date when Hogan made those racist comments, just to refresh everyone's memory. That's how deep the internet went. Folks weren't just upset, they were receipts ready and determined to remind everyone why Hogan's name still stirs so much controversy. Gronk, the AI assistant on X, came through with the receipts. It dropped the exact date when Hulk Hogan's racist comments went public, July 24, 2015. That's when the whole world found out what he had really said behind closed doors, and the internet went nuclear. But here's the wild twist. Hogan's death? It was reported exactly 10 years later, almost to the day. That eerie timing sent social media into a frenzy. People magazine even confirmed it, locking in the timeline. And once folks realized the connection, it was game over. One user reposted Gronk's answer with a bold caption, "Karma really is a mother effer." That post blew up instantly. It wasn't just some casual observation, but people were calling it cosmic justice, like the universe was keeping tabs and finally cashed in. Back on The Breakfast Club, Charlamagne Tha God wasn't buying into the karma hype. He hit the brakes on all that spiritual revenge talk, saying, "Look, Hogan was 71. That's not exactly young, people." According to him, the average lifespan for men in America is around 74, and Hogan wasn't far off. He basically said it wasn't some mysterious curse or payback, just biology doing its thing. Then Charlamagne broke it down even further, and this part hit home for a lot of listeners. He pointed out that the real tragedy this week wasn't Hogan's passing, but the sudden, heartbreaking death of Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Warner was only 54. That's young, too young. And what made it even more gut-wrenching? Reports say he died from drowning, something no one saw coming. That's the kind of news that stings hard, especially for fans who grew up watching him. Charlamagne made it clear, we shouldn't react the same way to every celebrity death. Losing someone in their 50s, especially someone who never got caught up in controversy, hits different than someone passing in their 70s with a long history of problematic behavior. He reminded folks that perspective matters. And just because two people pass away in the same week doesn't mean their legacies are equal. So now the internet's torn in two. Some people are still dragging Mike Epps for lumping Hogan in with Warner and Osbourne in that tribute pic. Others are saying, let it go, it was just a gesture. But for a lot of folks, it's about more than just a picture. It's about memory, respect, and who we choose to honor. And that leads us to the real question. Was Mike Epps just trying to pay his respects, or did he really miss the mark by putting all three men in the same light? That photo sparked way more heat than he probably expected. And the debate is far from over. So now the big question hanging in the air, should Mike Epps have left Hogan and even Osbourne out of that tribute altogether? Was it really necessary to group them all together, or did it just stir up pain people weren't ready to relive? Some say he should have stuck with honoring Malcolm-Jamal Warner alone, especially since Warner's passing hit fans the hardest and came without any heavy baggage. Others argue that death is death, and showing respect shouldn't come with conditions. And what about Charlamagne's take? He straight up dismissed the whole karma angle and said Hogan's death was just the result of aging. No cosmic payback, no spiritual punishment, just nature running its course. But do you buy that? Or do you think the timing of it all feels a little too eerie to ignore? That 10-year anniversary connection really has people looking sideways? There's clearly no one-size-fits-all answer here. Everyone's got opinions and they're coming in hot. So let's hear it. What do you think? Did Mike mess up? Was Charlamagne right to shut down the karma talk? Sound off in the comments and join the conversation. It's just getting started.